show interview show. So for my very first guest of this week is this incredible singer and songwriter known by the name of Stow. So I'm about to add Charity into the live now to have a chat with Charity about her incredible work. So yeah, let's add Charity in and have a chat with Charity.
Hiya.
Hey Charity, what's up?
I'm good. How are you?
Yeah, really good, thanks. I just want to say first up, thank you so much for taking the time to join my show. It's such a pleasure having you on the show tonight. To people that don't know who you are, Charity, if you can give like a bit of backstory about yourself, and then we'll dive right into the questions.
Awesome. Yeah. My name is Charity Stow. I'm a singer-songwriter and I'm based in Nottingham in the UK at the moment. I'm originally from Stamford in Lincolnshire, but moved here about 3 years ago, 3 years ago, to kind of pursue music a bit more, do a bit more often and kind of take it a bit more professionally as well. It's kind of how I've got to this point. I've just stuck at it. I released a couple of singles and I released this EP on Friday. And yeah, it's been really lovely to kind of talk about it and get out to the world finally.
So we'll dive right into the questions now, Charity. So for my very first question, you've created incredible original songs, past and present. And for the first song I'm going to name, Perfect Thought. What was it like getting to create this song? And like, what's the whole meaning behind Perfect Thought?
So Perfect Thought is what I wanted to kind of create is this imaginary world and kind of what I wanted my future to look like and all the dreams and stuff you have about that around this kind of scene of going to the seaside and with your family and being quite kind of just nice and just being a really nice relaxing kind of thoughtful song and really hopeful as well. But yeah, it came out quite easily when I first wrote it, but it was really hard to produce because it was really hard to get the correct atmosphere for it, because it's one of those songs that has developed quite a lot in its meaning just through the production process. And I think once we started focusing on the dreamy side of it and making it a bit more like an imaginary place, it kind of felt a bit more right, and it set with the song a lot better.
So on to my very next question. So you've also created an incredible song called Timothy. What was it like creating this one, and what's the meaning behind Timothy?
So Timothy is I had a review from someone, or I did an interview with someone and they explained it as the politest diss track you'll ever hear, and I think that's a very good way of explaining it. It's kind of my frustration and anger from a very particular point in my life, like last summer, put into a song. And it was back in the first week of lockdown here in the UK, and no one knew what was happening, and it was all very scary, and it was horrible. So that's what I put. That's the meaning behind it. But yeah, it's also kind of turned into a bit more of a band upbeat song. It was kind of just a joke at the beginning. I just wrote it because I thought it was funny, and then we developed it and it turned into a really cool song to play live, especially.
Also, very next question. So you've also created a song called You. What was it like getting to create this one, and like, what's the whole meaning behind You?
You is a bit of a soppy love song, really. Gotta have one, haven't you? And it ties really well with Perfect Thought. I guess the person and the relationship behind You is also the meaning behind Perfect Thought, and they all kind of tie in together. And it's basically a song about how much one person or one relationship can change your outlook on life, and all of the things that you love about yourself, you kind of are developing and growing with this one person. And that's what it's about. And again, we wanted to really hit the kind of dreamy atmospheric vibe with it. So it's very laid back, it's very stripped back, it's mainly just acoustic and vocals with some atmospherics behind it. But that one was really lovely to record, and it's hard to not add lots of stuff to that one, but I think we got the right balance in the end.
On to our very next question. So you've also created a song called Across the Universe. Such an incredible song, by the way. What was it like creating this one, and like, what's the whole meaning behind Across the Universe?
So Across the Universe is actually a cover of an old Beatles track. And it's one that me and my dad, we always used to play open mics, and we still kind of play shows together. But it's one that someone suggested to us. They were like, "Oh, this is a really nice Beatles song that we hadn't heard of before. You should cover it." And it took us a long time to get around to covering it, and then we played it live a few times, and we kind of fell in love with just the vocal and piano meaning behind it. And yeah, we ended up just doing basically a one take in the studio. We had like half an hour left, and we just did it one day, and it was really nice because it just came out really naturally, and there's lots of other things that we tried to do with it, but just the simplest worked better, and I think it's a really lovely way to round off the EP as well.
Well, I have to say, it was really incredible, like the take that you put on Across the Universe. Such an incredible
Thank
take.
you.
I have to listen to it. Definitely go listen to it because it's incredible and really sensational. So I have to say that first up.
Thank you.
Very welcome. On to my very next question. So, what made you decide as a person, and especially as an artist, like to get into singing in the first place?
A lot of it is from other people pushing me a little bit, kind of not in a bad way, in a very good way. It's very hard to get out of your comfort zone, and when you've never performed live, it's like the scariest thing in the world. And you know, when you first perform live, you're most likely going to be quite bad as well because you haven't learned how to do it. I didn't know how to sing or play the guitar. So yeah, it's a series of kind of going to really supportive open mics and having just a really lovely group of people surrounding me that kind of pushed me to think, oh, maybe I could do this. And from that, your confidence just grows, and you kind of learn who you are as an artist. And that, I think that comes really quite late. You know, it's only in the last year or so that I've kind of thought about exactly who I want to be as an artist and thought about the longevity of it, because it's such a big thing to think about at the very beginning. So yeah, I guess lots of kind of smaller things have helped me to learn and grow in my music. And also it's the passion, and it's a lovely experience to go out and play, and people enjoy it, and you meet so many lovely people that it's very addictive after a while.
So on to our next question. So, who would be your all-time inspirational person or music artist that you look up to music-wise, and why?
I think if I had to pick one, I was thinking about this the other day. I was kind of like thinking of my favorite songs and songs that really mean a lot to me, and a lot of them come from Carole King. So kind of that older side of her music, and I'm kind of discovering her later music as well now, and she's definitely one of those artists that I really try and emulate her passion in her music, and that's what sticks out for me most. The music, you know, the music is amazing, the lyrics are amazing, but the passion is what brings you in. And her voice is, you know, even if it's not one bit isn't technically amazing, it's everything that else is that's behind it that makes it, you know, as amazing as it is. So yeah, I think Carole King is one of the artists that's definitely pushed me to kind of realize what music is about and what I should be aiming for.
So on to the very next question. So what does performing music mean to you, like especially as an artist?
I guess it means community is probably a very good word to describe it. I found that, especially through, you know, open mics and stuff like that, I've made so many friends and so many connections, and I've networked with so many amazing musicians that I just wouldn't have done without music. And it's such a lovely thing to get all these people together, and the only thing binding us together is music, and we don't know how much we've got in common until we get into a room and play together. And that's the thing that I love about it. It's such a social thing, and it is such a good feeling to kind of go out and talk to people about music, because, you know, if they're there to play music, we can talk each other's ears off about music all night, and it's lovely to find people who want to do that.
So I have to ask, by the way, if you could go like anywhere on tour, like any country, any place on tour, where would you want to go to and why?
Ooh, that's such a like big list of places. I think I'd want somewhere kind of like quite small. I prefer slightly more intimate shows. And I know, like, round where I am, places like Rescue Rooms and the Bodega, are places that are definitely on my map at the moment. In the next couple of years, I would really love to do a headline show there, or even just support there, because they're really lovely venues, and they've always, Nottingham has a really good atmosphere for live music. So it would be good to experience that, and on a slightly larger scale as well. And yeah, it's a very exciting thing to think that I'm kind of working towards that a little bit.
So that's our next question. So if you could work with any top 3 music artists in the music industry, who would who would you vibe with the most and why?
So one person who I would just interested to see how they work. I definitely want to work with Bob Dylan, because why not? And I just love that no one knows anything about him, and I really want to know what it's actually like to be in a room with and make music with. So that would be cool. And then probably a more recent artist who's kind of up and coming at the moment, Orla Gartland. She's an Irish artist doing some really cool like indie rock pop stuff. And I think that would just be really fun. I'm always covering her stuff because it's always just so good. I think that would be awesome. And then one last person, who would that be? I think someone like Jacob Collier, maybe, who is someone that I can't even comprehend how they make their music. So it would be amazing to just learn a little bit from them, because I feel such a big gap from me to them, because he's been doing it since he was 4 or 5 years old and plays tens of instruments. So I think that would be an amazing experience to learn from them.
Also, our next question. So what have you learned about yourself as a person, and especially as a music artist, like during COVID?
Yeah, it's definitely given me a different mindset towards music. I think it's given the community and the feeling behind it a lot more importance than the music itself. And I love the music and I love creating music, but being in a room with other people who also love music is what I do it for. So going back to gigs and stuff like that, it's been so lovely and kind of like so emotional as well, because it's just, you have that feeling in a room, and it's mad that some notes can make everyone feel the same thing, just for different reasons. So yeah, I've definitely kind of put a lot more importance on the reasoning behind the music and what it actually makes people feel, I think.
On to the very next question. So what are like the positive and negatives into creating your own music, and how do you get through those like negative moments as an artist?
I think the positives are definitely that, I love doing covers and stuff, but singing your own songs and getting a band to play your own songs is a completely different feeling, and it makes me so proud of what I've created. And it also gives me a really good way of expressing how I felt at that time, and kind of processing it through just playing it live and listening to the lyrics myself. But also, negatives are definitely, it's a lot of work. It's really hard work, and it can be a bit all-consuming at times. And I think I'm learning quite quickly now that it's very good to have a balance and, say no to some things if you need to, because there's no point doing it if you're not enjoying every second of it. And I really try and be in the moment, and I've realized that sometimes I'm not, and I think, well, I need to be, because this is what I'm doing it for the feeling. So yeah, it's there can be negatives, but there's always ways to make it work for you.
So that's our very next question and last question. So like, what's next for you, like music wise, for like the rest of this year that you would like to announce on the show?
Yeah, so I've actually got some quite exciting things coming up. So I found out on Monday, I think it was, that I got some music funding from Youth Music, who's a charity here in England, and I basically have a grant to write a song and produce it and do a music video and promote it, which is amazing. And it's something that I never thought I would get, and I'm very surprised. So yeah, I'm definitely very focused on that at the moment, because I really want to use it to my advantage as much as I can, because it's an amazing opportunity and it doesn't come around very often. So I really want to grab it with both hands, and hopefully there will be a single coming out in the next 6 to 9 months, that kind of timeline. But yeah, I'm very grateful for the opportunity, and I think it's going to be a lot of fun.
Well, would you like to perform one of your songs on the show, by the way, Charity?
Yes, definitely. Cool. So yeah, I was going to do the title track of the EP, which is Perfect Thought. Yeah, it goes like this. I'll take out one of these, it'll be a bit better. Won't you take me out to sea, where we can go and make our little family? How I'd like to be by your side, out in the sun with a little glass of wine. Wine. Oh, what a perfect thought. Oh, what a perfect thought. Oh, what a perfect thought. I'd like to have a little boat that I can see my children play. And we build sandcastles by the sea, and you'd never stop looking at me. This is all in my head, I know, but I gotta use it to stay afloat. Oh, what a perfect thought. Oh, what a perfect thought. Oh, what a perfect thought. Sometimes I'm there alone, picking up sand and throwing stones all around my head. It's all in my head. Oh, but, oh, what a perfect thought. Oh, what a perfect thought. Oh, what a perfect thought. Oh, what a perfect thought.
Yes, Charity. Wow. Well, can I just say thank you so much, Charity, for making an appearance on my show. It's been such a pleasure having you on the show tonight. Do you have like any last final thoughts that you'd like to give to people on the show?
I just want to say, yeah, thank you very much for having me. And yeah, if you like that song, it's out now. You can go listen to it. It's got some really cool production around it, and some loads of harmonies and stuff like that. But yeah, it's lovely to play it and have. There's so many people saying lovely things and listening to it, and I really appreciate your support. Thank you very much.